All right.
All right.
So there's some sort of magical darkness moving along the bridge here, which seems to emit some sort of terrible fear effect, which caused half of our elvish allies to run away for all the good they've been doing.
Yeah, they weren't exactly what we call helpful.
All right, so it's my turn.
You're at your turn. Yes, we're at the top of the round.
All right.
Just to refresh,
Yeah.
at the top of this last arch,
Yeah.
there are two groups of Dogger hiding behind a shield wall, each of them with a shield wall.
Yeah.
Uh, Heading down the slope is a really banged up troll
Mhm.
who is truly angry with me.
Yeah. And somewhere along the bridge there, about past the halfway point, is that cloud of darkness.
Yeah, you just can't see it anymore.
It's gone?
No, no, the darkness is you can't see the bridge anymore.
No. Okay. All right. So can I maneuver around this barricade? I should be able to, right?
And what to do what?
Just circle around it. I just want to move so I can aim a cone down and get all of them in it.
60-foot cone?
Yeah, cone cold.
Yep,
Yeah, I just want to maneuver so I can catch them all in this.
not a problem.
Yeah, and without the barricade interfering with the spell somehow, I don't even know if that works.
Um, you can stand up on something and get them with ease.
Yeah. I'll just use my movement to maneuver and bring my hand around and unleash the cone of cold to hit all seven of them.
Yeah, the other thing you need to keep in mind is they're elevated, so you're
It's a
fine.
cone.
Yeah, they're elevated,
Yeah,
so you actually can see them even without maneuvering.
yeah. I know. I just don't want that barricade to somehow interrupt the cone or to give them cover or anything. Again, I don't know if that works.
Mm, no.
Whatever. I spoke it into canon that I'd move around. As long as I have enough movement to move back behind the barricade afterwards, I'm fine.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Cone of cold at the entire group. Constitution saving throws from all of them.
All right.
Oh, that's a lot of twos. All right. That's a pretty poor. That's fairly poor. 30 points of cold damage.
All right. They all made their saving throw. So that's down to 15.
Yeah.
All right. You notice. Excuse me. Hmm.
I'm hoping to at least take out the troll.
All right. The cone hits the troll.
Yes.
You see that spray coming off it, but
But it freezes, I presume.
it freezes.
Yeah.
The cone continues and hits the shield wall.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any movement at the moment.
They die.
I said there's no movement at the moment. You can't see them.
Okay.
Shield wall.
All right. I should have a good look at the troll.
Troll is
Alive?
doesn't seem to be.
Okay. So I froze it solid with that
It
spell.
seems to be stuck in mid whatever it was
All right.
doing.
So I'm trying to remember at this. All right, I just want to refresh my memory of troll knowledge for its regeneration effect. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy to roll a check if you want for me to do that.
Go for it.
A troll only regenerates at the start of its turn unless it takes fire damage. Do we have to do fire damage? Do it now to prevent it from coming back to life, or is it dead? Is my question.
All right, go for it.
All right, this is just nature.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's 23.
Every troll we've ever fought,
Yeah.
we've we haven't come across this variety before.
Yes, but generally speaking, most troll regeneration works the same.
Yes, and our experience tells us that if it took fire damage, it can't regenerate. So it is going to expire instead of regenerate.
Okay. So it's
Currently, it's frozen.
currently it's frozen.
Yeah.
So it. My question is, it's dead now, or do you have to deal with like a firebolt?
So I have to hit it with more fire.
Yeah.
As far as you know, it's dead.
Okay. And the dwerger is any guess.
Don't know because you can't see them.
All right. I'm going to use the rest of my movement to move back behind the barricade, and that's my turn.
Okay. Draugr's turn comes up.
All right. We're about to get the answer to my question then.
Nothing seems to be happening.
All right. I could have killed them.
Yep.
I don't know how effective all those shields would be against freezing cold.
Yeah. Oh, they seem to have some amount of resistance. But
Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean they still take damage.
Yep.
So my spell could have conceivably killed them.
Yeah. We come to my turn.
All right. Oh, I said there's something horrible in a patch of magical darkness over that way. I say.
Yeah, I had to make a saving throw too.
Yeah.
That's a bit closer now.
So it's moving too. Okay. Well,
I think we're in a holding pattern for the moment.
yes, I think so. We can try and confirm if the dwerger are dead or not, I suppose. But
we could.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of concerned about something else.
Yes. Do you have Dawn prepared?
I do not.
Oh. That's unfortunate, because that can dispel magical darkness.
Yeah, but again, I made the scenario.
Yeah.
So I didn't change my spell list.
So.
Well,
we can also dispel magical darkness.
Yep.
At a range of 120 feet, so I don't know if you want to try that.
I think for the moment, I want to wait. I don't know what's going on here. They seem to have won.
Yes, but there was but we won with asterisks on the side of it.
Because we're not sure what that is.
No.
We still feel that pulse of
fear, but presumably because we saved against it, I feel like we're immune to it now, possibly.
Yeah, we are, but apparently the elves aren't. The remaining elves have now run away. Or in the process of running away. You and I are a bit more battle-hardened, let's say.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of angsty teenagers.
All right. Yeah, this might just be natural fear they're running away from.
Yeah, they saw half their buddies go away. They might be just joining them. Who knows?
All right, so I think we've dealt with the troll. We've dealt with the troll. I think we've dealt with the dwerger. And now we have something else to worry about.
Okay.
So I assume we're out of combat at the moment.
Nope.
No? Oh, we're not.
Nope.
All right.
Round of conversation and the elves running away and everything passes by in a few seconds.
Yes.
Something else happens.
Okay.
A section of darkness detaches itself from the area of darkness.
Okay, this is new.
And streaks out and envelops the troll. You make an Arcana check.
Okay, this doesn't sound good.
No.
Well, that's unsurprisingly low. This probably is a bit outside of my area of expertise. 13? I don't think it's a lucky number in this case.
Nowhere near enough.
Yeah. Oh, I really hope this isn't going to be like some sort of reanimation. We've seen examples of undead down here from that zombie, the dragon zombie, so I don't want to deal with a zombie troll.
Well, unfortunately, I'll try to take the elves out of the initiative order. We're at the top of the round.
Mm-hmm.
The darkness just seems to absorb into the troll. And
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
no, it seems to be moving.
I just killed that troll! I say to no one in particular.
Yeah. Would you like to roll a perception check, please?
18.
The troll was blocking most of what happened, but One second, double check something before I.
Oh, good grief. Are they animating the dwarger too?
One sec. Uh, wasn't really expecting it to get this far. Let's see. All right. Glad I looked at it because my number was wrong. You do notice one of the Dwagger are also moving.
All right, one. That's not set. That's not six. That's better. Okay, so something is reanimating these things.
Yeah.
So that darkness seems to have seeped into whatever this is.
Yeah.
These
It now looks
corpses.
like a zombie troll.
Yeah. Oh,
It,
great. How in the
it
world?
is. Remember before it was spewing kind of like a acid.
Or yeah,
Now,
something.
now there's sort of this miasmic.
Yeah. So that's quite similar to what we dealt with the dragon.
Yeah, it's very similar. Some sort of necrotic something is happening there. You rolled low, but I'll give you that much.
Yeah. All right. So this is now an undead troll and an
Yep.
undead dwarf, I assume.
And an undead dwarf.
That mass of darkness. Is that look? You said parts have detached from it, so it
Yep.
looks smaller, I assume.
Nope. It looks exactly the same size.
Yeah, great.
Some amount of darkness came out of it, but
Mhm.
didn't seem to diminish the darkness.
And it's still there.
It has stopped advancing.
All right.
One other thing you notice, because you rolled actually reasonably well this time,
Yeah.
another Draugr is stepping out of the area of darkness. Bigger, looks really tough. And
Oh, that's right. A dwarger can cast enlarge on themselves or something.
not that big.
No.
No.
Okay.
It just seems like a bigger, burlier Draugr.
Okay, so it's not like an actual, like a giant dwarf, which would be an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His armor
Yeah.
is shiny black plate mail.
Mhm.
He has very, very good equipment from what you can tell from this distance.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so maybe it's just a bunch of.
he seems to be observing.
Alright. Maybe this is just some sort of magical darkness they've created, and there's some sort of magic user in there animating the troll, and the dwarf is a zombie. So it could just be animated dead for all I know.
You don't know.
I don't know. Then again, there was also a big sphere thing that happened.
Yep. So, this all happened at the top of the round.
Yes. Okay. So it's my turn.
It is now your turn. You are about 15 feet away from a really big troll.
Yes, I do have a barricade in between, but it's not going to last.
No.
I say to you, this may not be a winning fight here anymore. I say, especially now if they can just reanimate these things.
What do you want to do?
I want to investigate what's inside that magical darkness, but I don't think we can do that. That's the problem.
Problem is, we're here, and the burly dwarf, the Dwagger, is here, and right behind him is the darkness field.
That's more than 120 feet.
More than 120 feet radius.
All right, we could get closer, I suppose.
There is a troll in the way.
Yes. I really wish my plan to destroy this bridge was feasible. All right. Well, I don't have fly prepared, unfortunately.
Nope.
I don't suppose you do.
Oh.
No. I could dimension door us to the other side with ease.
Then we'd have two zombies on one side, an area of darkness, and this big burly dwarf.
I meant the other side of the chasm.
Oh, yes, we can go all the way over there, except one small problem is you can't see there. You'd have to go further down.
Yeah, but I don't need to see for dimension door.
True, you do know where the other side is.
Yeah.
We may be teleporting into darkness. We
Oh,
don't-
so that entire side is dark at this point?
You can't see past the darkness, so you don't know.
Yeah, but you said the darkness is on the bridge. It's not like a wall, is it?
Yeah. It is, for all intents and purposes, from here to here, there's a line of darkness.
Yeah, but I meant, what about across the other side?
you can't see past it. You can start seeing, once you angle out, you can start seeing the sides over here, but you don't know what's happening behind here because it's being blocked.
All right. Well,
If I have an opinion of this,
yeah.
bad idea,
Bad idea to teleport to the other side.
because we don't know what's over there.
Yeah, but this is just going to be a slugfest otherwise, and that's not good for us.
No.
All right. Since I don't know exactly what to do, most part, I'm going to cast mirror image on myself for the time being.
All right. You are now multiples.
Yeah. And I'm open to absolutely any suggestion that helps here.
That is a good question. What to do here?
I don't know. You can Bigby's hand to swat them all off the bridge. Or a gust of wind, I suppose, might work.
I guess the wind doesn't work very well on large things.
Yeah, I think Baby's hand will. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I think we need to stop actually treating this like a fair fight and use this chasm to our advantage.
All right. If that's what you want to
Loath
do.
that I am to admit to reference this game, considering my opinion of it, we should probably start using some of the unfair tactics that are very popular in Baldur's Gate 3, with chasms and the such.
Well, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
And I will take your suggestion. I will cast a 5th level spell slot.
Yeah. And I suggest we start with the troll.
And a big monkey's paw shows up.
Yep.
And I can push with it.
Yes, you can. You can shove it quite far, I think.
Yeah. It goes by first distance and then my spell casting ability.
Yeah.
That still requires a roll.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
sorry. Were you looking something up?
I was looking at the spell.
All right. I'm going to shove this thing.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly,
It's the hand strength contested by the strength of the troll.
Yep. And on top of that, it gets pushed back. Is it 5 feet plus?
5 feet plus the number of feet equal to 5 times your spellcasting ability modifier. So plus additional, so 25 feet total.
25 feet. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Which should be off the bridge, I hope.
I am going to check one thing because I can't remember the strength modifier on this guy. Because you're different now. So my strength modifier is higher. That is a tie. So we're going to roll off.
It was a tie? Oh dear. Oh. Is the troll medium or smaller? Or is
No.
it's large? Okay, so it doesn't have advantage.
No. I won the tie. Sorry, the roll off.
Yeah.
And it gets pushed back 25 feet.
Which I hope is off the bridge.
So it is going to get pushed back. This is 25 feet is this whole distance.
Yeah, but I meant off the bridge. You don't have to. It's not straightforward from you. You can come at it at an angle.
Oh no, that's what I meant. This is 25 feet. And I'm going to do it from an angle. And it was standing here, so this is easily more than 25 feet.
Yeah, so off the bridge it goes.
Yes, it is going to get a chance. Dexterity is not its strong suit at this point. It is going to get a chance to grab.
Can I see it?
Hmm?
Can I see it?
Yeah.
Troll.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving it a 6.
It falls off the bridge.
Yeah.
It does not scream. It does not wail. It does not complain.
It's undead at this point.
It just falls.
Yep. Well, probably should have started with this, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Hey, that is my turn.
Yep.
we now come to the animated Draugr. This is something that they were going to do the next round if they survived. He all of a sudden greatly increases his size.
Yeah, so this is the enlarged thing I said. They
He
can
is now large.
do. Okay.
So yeah, he went up quite a bit.
Double in size, basically.
Yeah.
That's how enlarge works, I think.
Yeah. This is not a spell or anything. This is just their natural ability.
I think as an ability they can cast the spell, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. And he is here, but now that he's large, he has a greater movement. He comes down the ramp, which is only 25 feet anyway.
So it's not attacking it by hand, basically.
Yeah, and he has his massive war pick. Apparently, all of his equipment has grown in size too.
Yeah, that's how the spell works.
Yep, and he takes a swing, and he doesn't care. So
That's
he's
the barricade?
nope, trying to hit us over the barricade. He's tall now, so he can reach
Oh,
over it.
okay.
What do you want? Odds or evens?
Evens. Oh, just keep with evens.
All right. Not you. Of
Okay.
course, one with 3 images.
Yeah.
All right. Swinging at me. Oh, wait a minute. I got to check his modifiers now. It's changed.
It is a bit higher, I think, yeah.
That is on that note. So you now have that. Doesn't matter when you roll a 4.
All right.
Over my head. He does get a second attack. No, he does not. No, he does not.
No, I suspect the other guy might.
The other guy might.
Yeah.
The other guy definitely has multiple attacks.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check, please.
14.
High enough. There's not much going on at the moment. There seems to be a conversation happening between him and something.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just going to say I have tongues going still at the moment.
it's not loud.
No, I still have tongues at the moment. I'm going to say it loud enough to him.
Yep.
Says, yeah, you're going off the bridge next, by the way. You can understand me.
Yeah. Roll an intimidation check, because I assume that's what you're going for.
Sure, 13.
He looks over his shoulder at you and goes back to what he was doing. Not a bad roll, though.
Yep.
You're not sure. He just could be combat hardened, you know?
Yep, that's fine. It didn't work, but just my point is pointing this out.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a conversation happening.
Yeah,
And it probably has something to do with how badly this is going for them.
yeah.
So,
Right.
that is that.
Yep.
We are now back at the top of the round, which is you.
Me.
We are in combat.
Dealing with this thing.
A zombie enlarged dwarf.
Well, I did actually prepare hold person, but that's not going to work.
No, not anymore.
No.
Hold monster would.
No, it won't. It's undead.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
All right. The problem is I don't want to waste my time fighting the minion. Yeah, but you've made a valid point about Dimension Door being a bad idea. I wish I had fly.
The spell that we like, but never very rarely prepare.
Well, it wasn't necessary up until this point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of the things I wasn't prepared for is a bridge over a massive chasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is new to us. We haven't been down in the underworld.
Yeah, and I wanted to keep tongues prepared. Alright. Well, we have a giant monster in front of us. It's foolish to ignore that. I'm casting Frost Breath on it.
Alright, go
Just
for it.
up at it. If it can swing over the barricade at me, I can aim up at it.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
Constitution saving throw.
Well, I rolled a 2, so I'm not even going to bother.
Okay.
checking its modifiers. Because it certainly isn't plus 16.
Plus 6. 20 points of cold damage.
Alright.
Alright, does it look like it still has that, what I assume was magic resistance to it? As an undead creature?
Roll an Arcana check.
Yeah. 13.
Yeah, sure.
Not sure. Alright, it's frozen in ice and took 20 points of cold damage.
Yes.
It has disadvantage to hit us now.
Yes.
Alright. I am going to use my movement to back away from it, taking the attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll swing at you.
It can't move at the moment, so distance
Just
makes
take a
sense.
swing. Never mind.
Disadvantage, yep. That was what I was counting on.
Didn't even hit high enough to hit an image.
Alright. Well, it didn't hit high enough to even hit. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, I know. So, alright, I'm maneuvering just off to the side away from this thing. Around.
So it's right here.
Yeah. I want to go that way.
I'm here.
Yeah. I want to keep going around that side of the bridge.
This side?
Yeah, just maneuvering away from where the Draugr is currently frozen.
Yep.
And I just wanted to move a little bit so I can keep my eye on what's going on over there.
Okay, that's fine. Right about there would work then.
Yeah. As far as the movement can take me.
Yep.
That's my turn.
Alright.
You can move away now too if you want.
Nope. I am going to try and knock this thing off the bridge.
It's frozen. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder.
We'll find it.
I don't think it impacts it at all, really.
No. Oh, not with those rolls. The hand slams into it.
Mm-hmm.
No effect.
Okay, so it didn't work. That's only your bonus action, though, so you still have your action.
I still have my action. What am I going to do to you, buddy? I don't want to waste any more spells on this. That's the problem.
That's the thing, right? We're wasting our time on an animated corpse.
Yeah. I already burned through a lot of third level spell slots.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to take a page from your book.
Mirror image?
Yep. So
it seems like a good idea since this fight looks like it's going to be going for a little while.
Well, I don't want to move out of its attack range because I don't have images, so I think I'll do that. And then maybe
you do now.
I do now.
You can move now. It's used its reaction.
Oh, that's right. It's used its reaction. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I step back out of its attack range.
Yeah.
All right.
If it wants to break free, it has to waste its action to do so.
Well, it can't do anything else. Technically, it has javelins, and it could throw one at us.
Technically speaking, it can attack the hand.
It could.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just have to bear in mind that this thing is a zombie now. It has no intelligence apart from what its orders are or is receiving. Okay.
I'm gonna roll to see what it's gonna do.
Yep.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
I'll try
just bear
breaking
in mind this thing is operating on pure instinct.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna. It's just my way of figuring out how this is going to play out. It's playing out to its advantage simply because, well, whatever. Oh, God.
So it tried to break free?
Tried to break free unsuccessfully.
Even with the bonus enlarge gives on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Bad number.
So that's its turn then.
And we're back to you.
All right. Well. Still have to find some way of getting around this thing. Alright, if I Misty Step 30 feet onto the bridge, which I should be able to do, will that put me outside of this thing's melee range?
It is here.
Yeah.
You are
What about there?
Technically, from here to here is 25 feet. I'll add an extra 5 because you're on the side. You can teleport to the top of this peak.
Yeah.
And you would be outside of his immediate ability to attack unless he breaks free.
Yes, unless he breaks free. It also puts me closer to this guy.
Yeah, well, not really. This is still,
Well, it kind of puts me between the two of them.
yeah, this is still 100 feet away.
All right, that's not necessarily a good idea. All right, I'm out of melee range. I want to save spell slots for the more important stuff. I'm just gonna hit this thing with Ray of Frost.
Go for it.
That's a natural 17 plus 10, so 27 to hit.
That'll do it.
11 points of cold damage.
It is taking the damage.
Yep.
It is very damaged.
All right, maybe we can bring this thing down then. But yeah, I don't want to waste more spell slots on it unless I have to. All right, that'll be my turn.
Perception check, please.
Okay, 16.
You see the wall of darkness, but you don't see the other dwarf anymore.
He's gone back inside. And I said, I'll just because my turn's almost done anyway, I'll say, yeah, it's not going exactly according to plan, is it? As long as I can keep talking to these guys, I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my turn.
All right. I see how damaged this thing is.
Yeah.
I switched to trying to punch it with the big bee's hand.
And then I suggest, if it's still up after that, hitting it with a firebolt.
Well, that definitely hits. Ugh. I redid up my character sheet, put everything on it, and
What do you
then
need?
didn't print it off.
What do you need?
I know it's 3d8.
What, the hit?
No. I hit it. Like I said, I had all the information for all the different things I could do with Bigby's hand written down on my character sheet, but I haven't printed it off.
Oh, you want to know the damage?
It's 3d8.
48 for clenched fist.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh. I guess I should have printed it off.
I have it. I have the stat block brought up if you need it.
Oh, I love d8s.
Well, I got an 8 on one of the dice I rolled for Ray of Frost.
My lowest number was a 4.
All right.
I rolled pretty much its entire hit point total with 4d8.
All right.
Yeah, I shatter the thing with a punch.
All right. I think that's dead.
Yeah, there's nothing left. We're looking at a total of that's 24, 55 points of damage.
All right. Now, the question is, how do we proceed? Still your turn, technically.
Well,
You could leave the barricade and move over if you want.
we're standing here. I'm standing here.
I'm standing off to the side a little bit. Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. There's no guarantee that they're not going to try animating more of these things if we.
Yeah, and then there's they'll have thawed by now.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it lasts a minute, doesn't it?
Yes. I'm pretty sure.
So they're still frozen.
Yeah. It doesn't stop them from trying to animate them again if they have some sort of necromancer over there.
So this is where the wall was.
Yeah.
It's now here.
All right. So they are kind of retreating.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to look it over to you. Well, do we let them fall back and then follow them afterwards, or we try and prevent them from escaping? Frankly, I'm not that concerned about them leaving and us just trying to follow after them.
Well, we know where they're going because there's only one way to go.
Well, we know where they're going to an extent. They're going that way.
They're going that way. We don't know enough of the lay of the land, I guess I should say.
But the bridge is kind of a tactical issue for us as well.
Yeah, it is guardable.
Yes.
We can guard the bridge.
Second day.
I haven't burned through too much.
I've burned through a bit more than I wanted to on this.
The problem, yes. See, the problem with this, if we decide to proceed at this moment, is we are about half spent in our magical abilities.
Yes.
Taking no damage.
No, we've taken no damage, which is nice.
Yes.
But if we wait much longer, these mirror images are just going to go away.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee we will not
Unless we pursue immediately.
Unless we run, we are not going to have our mirror images anymore by the time we get there. because they're retreating
Yeah.
or moving
Personally,
forward.
I'm fine with them retreating for the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
While we're having this conversation, which does take a bit of time,
Yeah.
the darkness is now to the point where we can see the end of the bridge.
All right. I want to keep watch on them going. That cloud of darkness moving as best I can.
Okay, I would give you a perception check with advantage because I'm watching too. One other thing I want to point out to you is that sort of a nauseating fear is gone.
All right. 19.
Okay, what you see is it at, because we have a little bit of light here.
Yeah.
We do see when there's actually no light. It does make it. It does stand out,
Yeah.
and see it uh, gradually recede into the distance, and then at some point, there's enough
Yeah.
stuff in the way and bends and buildings and stuff that we lose track of it.
Hmm. Okay.
But for all intents and purposes, it just went straight down the road.
All right. That's about as good as we're gonna get out of that, I think.
At this point, we are being rejoined by a few individuals
Yeah.
who
We'll
are
just let that pass.
who are almost in a celebratory mood because that went well.
That
You know?
went well, despite their complete and total absence of doing anything. Again, I'm not going to bring that up, but that is definitely what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the our escort here,
Yeah.
the gentleman who went up top to trying to get some support.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
isn't terribly proud of how this turned out, but he's happy that it worked out in their favor.
All right.
He says, "Well, the council was right about you two.
Yeah.
Uh, that was impressive. I don't know how you managed to stand with that, ugh, that terrible, nauseating fear. That wall. It was just,
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that was, but all
yeah, yeah,
right.
um,
Well, we seem to have repelled them for the time being.
yeah." So I think you guys should set up your watch again and guard this bridge.
Who was saying that?
Me to them.
Okay. Okay.
Now, what do you want to do? That means what should we do at this point?
Well, I wouldn't mind taking a short rest to recover a bit from this.
Well, we just had a battle. They're always tiring.
Yep.
Uh,
So we could take a short rest, and while we're doing that, we can discuss what we want to do next.
all right, let's do that.
Yeah.
So we just find one of the nearby buildings,
Yeah.
sit down, pick, pick which one you want.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we have a bit bite to eat, something
Yeah.
to drink,
All right. I'm going to use Arcane Recovery to regain 2 third-level spell slots. Because that's the
and I'll
highest
just
I can get
regain my
back.
fifth.
Yeah. That's the best value I think I can get out of that.
Yeah, I'm still down 5 spell slots.
Yeah, I'm down to a few as well, but well, I'm down one fewer than you.
A lot of fireballs.
Yes. All right. So that worked. Not as well as I was hoping it was going to work. Unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
In what way was it bad?
Nothing. It was just I was hoping we would be able to drive them off or deal with them a bit more quickly than we did. Also, there's definitely something going on here.
Yeah, there's
That troll and those dwarves are definitely under the influence of something magical.
yeah. Unfortunately, we're in a battle. You couldn't really spend too much time trying to figure that out.
All right. Well, we're out of the fight now.
Yeah.
Can I attempt to try and discern with your assistance what that was? At least as close as likely as I can.
All right, we're gonna call this an Arcana check.
Yeah.
You can have advantage.
But I assume the DC is very high.
DC is going, yeah, up there.
All right. Well, let's see what information we can gather
Right.
after the fact. Well, that is a natural 19. Uh, plus 9 is 28.
All right. Can't ask for much higher than that.
I know, it's almost, I mean, it's one off from a natural 20.
Okay. With that,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a couple things that it's not.
Mhm.
We, with Renard, Renard? Who's the necromancer?
Reynard.
Reynard, thank you. We've seen him cast Animate Dead before.
Yes.
We know what that's like. We know what it feels like when it happens.
Mhm.
This is a similar kind of magic, but it was not a spell.
Okay.
Whatever did this, did it because it can, not because it was casting a spell.
All right. What about the glowing eyes thing?
Some kind of weird possession, maybe.
All right.
This
So they were
definitely,
possessed and then they were reanimated.
yeah, they're definitely beyond, anything that they would normally do themselves. Besides, they're combative. They like to fight.
Yeah.
But this
And the
this is
troll is definitely talking about eating things, and that's generally a troll's general concern.
yeah. The funny thing is, it was magic to make them do something, but it's pretty much something they would do anyway. The only thing that became out of ordinary was when we started dealing that much damage to them.
They
Uh,
didn't retreat.
they didn't respond as normal sentient individual would. They just
Yeah.
blinders
They
the
just kept going. They were basically puppets, and then
yeah
they were undead puppets.
yeah.
All
So
right.
something has very strong control over them.
Yes. From what I recall of Anime Dead, it does animate two corpses.
I think it has one of those scaling things we
It
don't
does
know.
for level, yes.
Yeah,
But if this is some sort of innate spell casting or just some other ability, those usually don't scale.
no.
No, so yeah, so that does sort of fit with the parameters of the general spell, except I don't think you normally reanimate trolls, but that's fine. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not familiar enough with the spell. I'm not a necromancer myself.
yeah, we don't deal. I mean, this is outside of our expertise.
Yes, I
We
don't know the
typically
spell. I've never been interested really in how the spell works. I'm just going off of my general memory of how I think it works.
that and necromancy is not something that we have any real knowledge of. We tend to shy away from it.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely necromancy at work here, even if it isn't spell casting variety. It could be some sort of more innate variety.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of, and from what I recall, I probably was too far away to see this. Uh, that elite dwarger that stepped out there, were his eyes glowing? Do I remember?
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll for that one.
All right. Yeah. That's a 9 total, so I assume no. I don't remember.
You don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
He was
He
also
did
wearing a
seem to
helmet.
be more conscious. He was conversing.
Yeah, he seemed to be a little bit more on the ball.
Yeah.
So, our
So
conversation.
off of that, all right, one last thing off of the 28 I rolled.
Yeah.
That fear effect, was that similar? Was that that's outside the range of the normal fear spell I'm familiar with?
Yeah, it was a kind of a nauseating fear, but we
Yeah.
did come across a fear effect once before from a dragon, and it's wasn't again more of a spell, it was more of a presence.
Yes. But I don't even think the frightful presence of a dragon goes that far.
No, this is something more powerful.
Yeah. All right. So I don't think it was a spell, but again, it was some sort of innate ability, some sort of innate fear it can inspire.
Yes,
All right. And it can create a cloud of magical darkness, which is mobile.
which seems to be mobile.
Yeah. Which is not easy to do.
No, you're all of this is coming together to indicate something with some fairly potent magical capabilities,
That is, but not a spellcaster.
but not necessarily a spellcaster, at least not some of the effects we've seen so far.
Yeah. I suppose it's possible to research spells for all this stuff, but then someone's spending awful lot of time in magical research on very, very specific things.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well, I think one thing, the conclusion that we're coming to is The only way we're going to find out more about this is to follow them and try and investigate.
Yeah.
So we have two options then. We could spend the night here, or
Yeah.
we can head out now. If we spend the night, we'll be heading out fresh, but the trail will be cold.
All right.
Still relatively fresh at this point. If we head out now, we can probably still possibly pick up some tracks.
If we head out now,
Yeah,
unless we run across them in short order,
yeah.
we will be rolling for exhaustion.
Oh, we're nearing that point, are we?
Uh, it was a long walk to get to here. We had a battle.
Mhm.
We did have a short rest, which is fine. We're fine for the
Yes.
moment.
So we'll be able to go a couple more hours, possibly.
Yeah, we have a couple more hours, but then that's what I meant by short order.
Mhm.
If we come across them in that time,
Mhm.
we'll probably be fresh enough that we can have that battle without rolling for exhaustion. But otherwise, we will be.
Yeah, I don't want to push ourselves too much, especially when there's no real need at the moment. We've repelled them for this moment. The other issue I have is with waiting, is they might come back with greater forces this time.
They could come back.
Yeah,
Um, you rolled 28 on your Arcana, right?
yeah.
All right, we'll still roll off that for one more
Okay.
time. Even if a creature or whatever has innate spell casting abilities, there's usually a cap on
Yes,
how
it usually
fast.
can only cast so many of those spells a day, just like us.
Yeah, so we're not entirely sure how spent they are as well.
Yeah, that is
So,
true.
they could be at their limit. We
Yeah,
don't know. We don't know what else they've done today.
we don't
Uh,
know what it is. That's kind of the problem.
yeah, we don't know anything about the abilities of whatever that is.
Yes, and there is technically a possibility that this thing can just yeah, innately cast some of these spell or spell-like abilities at will.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't really know. The darkness thing is probably something you can do at will, I suspect.
I know, but I can't
Yes,
say
you
that.
know. Of course you know. This is your scenario. You, the DM, knows everything.
Yeah. So I can't give too much advice here.
No. Yeah, the exhaustion thing's kind of annoying. Uh, all right. Based on just that, you, Jonas, do you think it's probably a better idea for us to wait because then we can set it when we're fresh again? And it might be we could be a long trek to track them down anyway.
All right. Exhaustion is, well, we have,
Irritating. Not necessarily something we're likely to worry about due to our constitutions, but then again, I rolled two bad constitution checks on the way here.
yeah. I mean, we have good constitutions and we had to slow down on our march here.
Yeah.
And that will also come into play because we were trying to rush here. It was tiring.
Yes.
So we are more likely to have that constitution check for exhaustion.
Yes.
So I would,
So yeah, exhaustion's annoying. So it might be a better idea to spend basically set up camp and actually rest, and then head out when we're fresh.
that
The
would be my guess.
after that plan again is the trail's probably going to go cold, and if they aren't coming back, they will probably have it will have a harder time tracking them.
Yeah, we're tracking in unfamiliar territory.
Well, we do have some magic that can help with that.
We also do have um, these guys.
Yes.
They will know more what's over there. Uh,
Yeah, we could use their general knowledge. I don't think they're going to be too helpful in anything else.
let's have a look, see if even if our escort is interested in this.
Well, let's ask them for what was over there.
Uh, he actually seems all right. That's a nat 20. Um,
Right, he's coming with us.
he wants to. He will tell you. He's going to tell us whatever we want to know
Yeah,
because this is more of a result.
than he
And
was expecting.
that yeah, it worked out well from their perspective. This is amazing.
Yeah,
Their barricades intact. They still have a few arrows left.
yeah. They didn't lose.
The
No one
enemy,
died.
no one died. No one got hurt.
No.
And the enemy was thoroughly trounced.
Yes. for the moment, this is a passable victory. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's a lot of unknowns at the moment that just make me feel a little uneasy about letting this be.
So yeah, all right, we'll ignore him for the moment.
Yeah,
Everybody else here is thrilled about giving us any information we want. Yeah, yeah, go ahead and take care of it for us.
yeah. Well, obviously, they're going to be willing to give us any information to help us solve their problem without them doing anything. But I take it he wants to come with us.
He, on the other hand, is feeling a bit of a conscience here.
Well, he's well, probably not an adult by elvish standards.
No, he's a child by Elvish standards. By our standards,
He's older than us,
he's
probably
older than
twice our age.
easily.
Yeah. Anyway, my main point is he is a sapient, intelligent, free-thinking creature. He can come to his own decision if he wants to come along.
He would like to come along.
Yeah.
The problem here, and this is just between you and I, escort mission.
Basically, yes. He is basically going to come in on all likelihood to his death, but we have to try and convince him that he's not a match for this.
All right, I would like you to roll a persuasion check.
With your assistance?
Sure, because I don't want him along.
Yeah, well, with the also the advantage should just be the fact that there's no way he's going to be able to handle what we just went up against.
Yeah, he he knows that.
Yeah,
Now, try and convince him of that so that he actually realizes it.
11.
All right.
As massive as middle of the road. I rolled a 10. I get to add one.
Oh, wow. Our campaign motto is still working.
Good.
Doesn't matter how bad you roll, as long as they roll worse.
I mean, it has to be something that he understands on a very basic instinctual level that he cannot handle what we just was fought.
No.
Yeah,
He initially thought that he would be safe with us,
yeah.
but then he realizes that
He's probably going to be a liability.
not no, he's a cocky teenager.
Mhm.
Um he realizes he can't help.
Yeah. He should stay here with his people and help defend this place.
Yeah, we do manage to
That's
get this.
basically how I'm going to word it.
Yeah, this is defensible to a
Yes.
point. To a point.
Yeah.
I mean, that troll and those Draugr are going to make it through there with their capabilities with ease.
Yes.
And I think that was part of the reason why we were successful. They were sending forces that, from their perspective, were easily enough to overwhelm these.
Token forces. Yes, that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. And if we take him into a real battle, he's going to die.
Yeah. I don't feel like taking children into a potential war zone that even we're not entirely sure we're going to be able to survive, but we have much better odds than they do.
Yeah. It is not going to be an easy battle.
Also, we can, if necessary,
Yep.
the two of us can just dimension door away. I cannot do that if we have a third person around along.
Yeah, dimensioning Dorian leaving him behind would just be wrong.
Yes, but if he came with us, I could see it possibly being something that would have to happen.
Yeah. All
So
right.
convinced him to stay here,
Yep,
and we are settling in for a long rest.
we are.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the one problem I have with that plan is what you said about a token force. They could send much more next time.
They are not capable of handling that, let alone anything more.
Yes, so we need to, as bad as a plan as it might seem, we need to take the fight to them.
Well, the problem is we know there's something powerful inside that darkness.
Yes, something powerful and something intelligent because it's hiding itself.
That, and it decided,
Yeah,
considering the way things went, that it made sense for a tactical retreat.
yes.
So it is actually seeing the battlefield, making decisions, taking some advice, which is another thing that doesn't never necessarily happen.
No, but that is generally a part of being intelligent.
Yep, and is decided that it needs to muster something. And
And it can see through its own magical darkness, which isn't actually that strange.
okay.
All
So
right, yeah. Let's take a long rest and set out once we're fresh.
Yep.
If the trail is going to go cold, uh, that's fine.
Well,
So,
the thing is,
mhm.
I don't think this thing is going to give up. So again,
No,
it may
we're not done with this. No, we're not.
it might end up with a cold trail, but I think at some point in
It's going
time
to come back.
it's going to be coming back, and this is the that where it's going to be coming back from.
Yeah, in all likelihood.
Yeah,
At the very least, I'm pretty sure this thing can't fly or teleport. Otherwise, it wouldn't be using the bridge.
yeah. It didn't seem to, you know, show any kind of indications along those lines. No.
No. Again, we didn't see everything it can do, but I'm pretty sure it's at least ground based. It has no natural flight capabilities, what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So I think it's your turn for to long rest first. First watch.
All right. We have our elf friends.
Oh, did we want to just trust them to?
Oh God, no. They're manning the barricade and the towers. They are commanded to obviously give alarms to all their fellows if anything happens. So that will be part of this.
Yeah, I'm still setting up my alarm.
Yeah, I know we're doing everything we normally do.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I had those rolls earlier. Okay,
An eventful watch.
trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Okay, about most of the way through my watch,
Yeah.
I hear a shout go up from one of the towers.
And you wake me up, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it seems like it would have been wishful thinking for us to get through this full
Well,
rest.
the thing is, it is only a single dogger. Doesn't have a shield with him. He was trying to sneak, but he is still wearing armor. So the elves noticed him, and the alarm went off.
Okay, so he's stupid. He's
Uh,
in heavy armor.
hmm?
Is he trying to sneak up on us in heavy armor?
Well, he's actually nowhere near us at the moment. Uh, Somewhere in here we set up camp.
Yes. By the one of the towers was my plan.
Okay, that's fine. He got spotted
Right there.
about here, and they said, "Yeah, there's well, a scout or something. We don't know what it is."
Well, they didn't come to negotiate if they're sneaking up on us.
Yeah, he snuck up about here. Seemed to be having a look around, and then is now retreating.
Okay, a scout.
Yeah, some sort of reconnaissance is happening.
Well, unless the drow are going to shoot at him.
That they have very few
They
arrows.
have very few arrows left. All
Yeah.
right, something might be coming.
Yep. And then the rest of my watch goes uneventfully.
All right, my turn then.
Yep.
Let's see if we actually finish this long rest.
Yeah.
That would be nice. All right, 25.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Let's double check that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let me change that. Hold on a sec. That's going to be. I remember later. Uh, it goes by uneventfully.
All right, so we do get a long rest.
Yes. We were
Well,
spotted on, but and then it didn't come to anything more than that. Morning comes. Well, sorry, not morning.
well, we wake up.
Sometime during the day.
Yeah.
You can pull in a television check if you really want to know what time it is.
All right. I rolled a natural one for one of my portents.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
24 for my intelligence.
Not quite dawn.
Okay, that's fine. We've woken up before dawn before.
Yeah, we got
We're
our
fully rested at least.
yes. Now we don't have to worry about having issues with exhaustion.
Yes.
We have some breakfast. We do our morning routine.
Yep.
Our
Make
buddy
sure,
uh, comes by and
as part of that morning routine, I make sure to renew my third eye dark vision and mage armor. Because down here, I think it's going to be important to have both.
uh, I have a possible suggestion for that.
What?
Going with light instead.
Oh, you want to use light cantrip instead?
Yeah, because that way I'll have my Constitution saving throws.
All right, you can do that if you want to. We
Uh,
technically only need one light cantrip going
True.
because we're almost always beside one another, so it doesn't help too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to renew my dark vision with third eye anyway because it's free,
Yeah.
and I want to have mage armor before we set out.
Also, we can split the party if we would need to.
We
And
can. I don't really advise that when it's just the two of us down here.
no, um, from what the descriptions they gave us,
Mhm.
uh, the chasm splits this old town, this whole ancient city.
All right.
So we're going to be walking through ruins for the better part of almost 2 hours.
Yes.
And then,
So you've reset your stone, is what you mean.
yeah, I'm going to reset my stone.
Yeah.
And what happens is it does go into a fairly large cavern and a series of caverns after that.
Mhm.
So uh, it's as civilized as it gets down here for the
Okay.
next.
So that's the direction they think they headed in.
No, that's the direction we think they headed in.
Yeah.
There is no real offshoots to this cavern system until probably about a half a day's walk.
All right. Well, they may have walked that far, but I doubt it.
No, if they're going to mount an assault,
Yeah.
they're not going to go too far away.
Yeah. All right.
All
So you
right.
go through this with light, which means we're not going invisible, which was a possibility.
Uh,
At least we're not. All right. That's fine. Let's just proceed for the time being.
you can cancel them at any point in time, and I
Yeah.
can switch over to having dark vision at any point in time as well.
Yeah.
For the moment, see, the thing is, I'm concerned about is this field of darkness. So I want
Light
to.
isn't going to help against that.
No, I was referring to having as many spell slots available as possible.
Yes.
That's all. And
Yeah.
having, if we're going up against something that possibly powerful, I would like to have my Constitution saving throws.
All right. Let's go.
All right. So off we go
Yes.
for a very boring, possibly tense 2 hour walk, which at that point we do come to the end of the ruins for this ancient
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
elven city.
And this is probably where, if we had not taken the long rest, we would be rolling for exhaustion.
Yeah. And now the cavern
Mhm.
narrows. It's still a couple 100 feet across, easy.
Yeah.
And it starts looking a little bit more natural, less worked, because a lot of the stuff around here has been tooled
Yeah.
and knocked around, and it's been. I mean, this place is ancient,
Yeah.
uh, and as time goes on,
Yeah. So I assume we're still coming from the bottom of the image.
we're coming from here.
All right. Well,
We are getting now to not so much elvish architecture anymore. There's some old architecture here, but this is truly ancient stuff.
all right. Can I make a
And
history check?
yeah, go for it.
Natural 20.
All right. In our knowledge of pre-fall stuff,
Yeah. Which is
this
still limited to a degree.
is limited. We have heard of a number of races
Yeah.
that no longer exist. Some of them are quite large, and some of them are subterranean.
Mhm.
One of them has built some of this,
Okay.
which is now just so derelict that calling it construction is still is really stretching it.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason why this map is here is a couple of things. First off, we see some flickering firelight ahead of us.
Okay.
We are here. We see light ahead of us.
All right.
This is
So I
kind of
assume these little these patch things here that are stalagmites.
these or
No,
these.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
That's like a
stalagmite. That is like pillars.
that's like a pillar of stone that goes to the ceiling.
Yes,
Okay. I wouldn't mind taking cover behind that to scout the look at things up ahead.
we have a light source going at the moment. Do you want to do anything about that?
You can douse it if you want this amount. If we can see light up ahead,
Yeah.
that might be enough to navigate by.
No. You're a dark vision. Yes, I can
Yes.
hang on to you, and you can pull us along, so to speak.
Or I can summon Alice down here and have her scout.
All right, you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll have her summon. I'll summon Alice, hang onto your hand and guide you, and
Yeah.
you can douse your light cantrip.
All right. So we're now in the darkness again.
Yeah, but
The
there's still
distance,
like we can still see the faint flickering firelight. You said.
yes, from here
Yeah.
to all the way across is about 600 feet.
Hmm.
So as we proceed,
Yeah. I want Alice to precede us by 60 feet.
she is about here.
Yeah. And I want to use these pillars as these natural stone pillars as cover as much as possible. So basically kind of sneaking between them.
But she gets roughly about here. She
Yeah.
reports to you, or you can see through her eyes, that there is a contingent of trolls and dwagger here.
Trolls plural.
Plural, as in three.
Three. And how many dwarger?
Roll a perception check because they're a little harder to see.
All right. 23.
14.
17 combatants. That's not a small amount.
The other thing that she tells you is
Yeah, I did notice that.
the end of the corridor is a solid wall of darkness.
There's our friend. With my 23, did I recognize the more elite dwarger in this midst?
Yep, he's in one of the 14.
All right.
They have fires going. They're cooking something.
Yeah. All right. Nice idea. We found them.
Yep. And he's going around, and currently he seems to be giving some sort of orders.
Yeah. I don't have tongues prepared cast at the moment, so
Yeah,
I could cast it now.
good.
Actually, this is important, I think. So I assume there's going to be a stealth check involved.
We're far away. I'll give you advantage on this.
All right. I will cast tongues.
Yeah.
Well, the advantage avoids a natural one. So 21.
All right. He is indeed giving orders.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
This is the most use I'm getting out of the spell in a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
we've been
because
assist.
that's a divination spell,
Yeah.
I'm going to use my expert divination to recover the first level spell slot I cast mage armor with.
All right. He is indeed sort of giving orders, but it's more along the lines of like a coach in a basketball team, giving a halftime pep talk
Okay.
like this. Along the lines of, all right, our prey seems to have found help, but the the reason why we were unsuccessful is because we were unprepared. That is not going to happen again. We know now what we're up against, and we are going to be successful. We are going to hit them. We're going to hit them hard, and we are going to have much more magical aid this time. Uh, he says something. It's a name. It does not translate.
Doesn't translate. Okay. Yep.
Is something that was very difficult for him to even pronounce.
So not in his native language, I suspect.
No, he seems very uncomfortable trying to even say the syllables. He will be with us, and we will be successful.
All right. This is probably a bit of a stretch for an insight, but I went to ask to see if I can check this anyway. Does he mean with us in like a religious, spiritual sense, or with them as in literally on the battlefield?
All right, go for
This is definitely a stretch.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was asking a lot. 16?
not high enough.
Not high enough? Okay.
Well, first off, you're dealing with uh, an unfamiliar species.
Yeah,
Trying to give a pep talk, so it's hard to tell off of that as well.
yeah,
And then you don't know if he means it figuratively or literally.
yeah. I imagine that doesn't translate well.
Yeah, it doesn't, especially when you're not. If it were if it were human, because you had a lot of experience with humans and elves to a lesser extent, even dwarves, we've had a fair amount of experience, especially with one on the plateau.
Yeah,
Uh, but no, Dogger knew. Um,
yeah. Well, that wall of darkness is real enough for me.
yep. All right. As we're sitting here,
Mhm.
he stands up. Oh, he always are standing. He turns around.
Yeah.
He seems to be listening. You don't hear a thing.
Okay. Telepathy, possibly?
And he says, turns around and says, "All right, men, get ready. We are moving out."
That's not a good sign. I say, okay, they're going to be coming this way towards us.
Yep.
I
And
suspect so will that.
they stand up. They start getting in order of formation to
Mhm.
pick out the fires. The trolls start pounding their chests and getting excited because they're hungry, and this snack was not enough.
I don't know if you can actually satiate a troll's hunger, but okay.
Well, they try,
They try.
and that wall
Starts moving?
starts moving towards us. Not fast.
No.
They don't seem to be moving yet, but they're getting ready. They're getting in formation.
I
They
suspect they're going to be moving inside that.
they are getting prepared,
Yeah.
and in maybe about 5-10 minutes, they're going to be heading our way.
All right. This might be a bit much for us to handle. They definitely can't handle it. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like we can take on 14 well-armed dwarger and 3 trolls and whatever's in there.
Yep. That nauseating fear is now ended.
Oh, that's right. It's been 24 hours. Oh, or has it? No, it hasn't. We don't know how that. I don't know how that works. The normal immunity to those sorts of effects is 24 hours. That's all I.
It's heading towards us. I'm going to give you advantage on it.
All right. Well, that's a natural 18 plus 8, 26.
Yeah. Easily shrug it off.
All right. Yourself?
Yeah, somewhere in the 20s.
Okay. So we're both fine. Oh, Alice?
She's not exposed to this before.
So
So
I should roll
give
for
her a
her.
straight roll.
All right.
She's not proficient in this either.
No. Oh, good grief. What's a cat's wisdom?
What'd you roll though for the number? I can tell you whether to bother looking it up or not.
All right. Her perception, which would be her wisdom plus her proficiency, which is +2, is +3. So she has a +1 wisdom. So that's a total of 11.
The cat lets out a cat-like screech of terror
Yeah, that's a problem.
and bolts towards us.
I unsummon her as soon as I can
Yeah, you can do it right away almost, but not
before
before
the sound.
before she screeches in terror.
Yes. They may not even know what a cat is.
They hear the sound. They
Yep.
look in our direction. It's like a stealth check, please, at this point. You can
Do
have
we have
advantage
advantage for
for
distance?
distance, and also we're out of the firelight, and they're in the firelight,
Yep.
but technically they're kicking out at this point in time. But stealth, please.
Natural 20.
Okay, so I didn't get a nat 20, but I got a dirty 20.
Okay. So I assume we're both hidden for the time being.
Let's find out. Yeah, you're hidden from them. Let's see if you're hidden from him. All right. They said the captain says, "All right, that's not natural."
Well, it was. It was a cat.
Yeah, from
They may
his
not know what a
perspective,
cat is, though.
no. They said that's not natural. Hurry up, get ready. Something's going on here.
All right. I say, we may want to move.
All right,
I'm not
so
entirely sure how comfortable we'll be inside that. Also, we will both be blind inside that.
yeah,
Dark
so
vision does not help with magical darkness.
no, it does not.
Yeah.
So they are mostly prepared now. Let's see how long this is. He's prodding them, but
Yeah.
it still
Well, in
does.
this point, I suggest we start heading back the way we came.
Yeah, hold on. There, it does take them time to get ready. I got to
All
see how long this is going to take. Middling, so not really much
right.
faster.
I say, well, I think we need some magically summoned help for this.
All right, so we're going to sneak away.
Yeah. Because we
Or
need at least a minute to summon some elementals, I suspect. Or technically, you could use your constructs if you want. Numbers might help.
well, we're going to be concentrating on something. It'd
Yeah.
be nice if they were big.
All right.
Yeah. If all right, if all we're going to do is summon elementals, we only need a minute. It's going to take
Great.
them more than a minute to get together.
I was hoping Earth elementals were immune to fear. They're not. That's
My
fine.
constructs, on the other hand, oh, a sec. I gotta look up.
Technically speaking, you created these things, so I don't know.
Well, they're constructs. They're not actually any. They're not alive. They have
No,
they have no
elementals
fear base.
technically are.
Hmm?
The
Element.
elementals technically are.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not alive. They are immune to fear. Well, they just don't have fear.
Yeah,
They don't.
they
They
don't
don't
have
have
they're
fright.
mindless.
They're mindless. Yeah. They
Yeah,
just feel.
so that works for that, but I can't summon those, and we might need an earth elemental.
Well, why don't we go with cast it and get three of them?
Yep, you can. The problem is we get random creatures that way.
We're going to get random regardless,
Yeah.
unless you want me to cast and catch, get a fire, sorry, a earth elemental, and then I'm not sure what their wisdom saving throw is going to be.
Their wisdom is 10.
So let's see,
I can make the stat block because I'm definitely going to be summoning something.
something.
And the earth elemental is probably the best bet.
Well, yeah, I mean, air elementals. Not
Air
a,
elemental can fly. Not a terrible idea. Yeah, it doesn't have saving throw proficiencies.
so it's less than a 50-50 chance because your cat failed with an 11.
Yes, and she did have a +1.
Yeah, so we're looking at less than 50% chance. The constructs,
Or immune to fear.
they're
So
immune to
having
the
them might be nice.
so then I can summon a bunch of them. I
Yes.
don't need a minute for those. I can do it's an action.
Yes, you can. So I need a minute to summon an earth elemental. But the earth elemental can come up underneath these things. Because
It's
this is all
it's all Earth.
natural earth.
Yeah. Well, still the same thing.
Yeah. So it can glide through those.
Yeah.
Don't know how I don't know how to react to the fear. That's the problem.
Well, it will not approach,
No.
but the thing that's causing the fear is not the dwogger and the troll.
No, but a frightened creature will still have disadvantage to attack anything as long as the subject of its fear is within visual range.
Yeah.
I don't know how that constitutes a visual range.
Don't know. It is
Yep.
a gamble. We
Yep.
don't.
Well, I think we need help. We need numbers to take on that large group.
Yep.
And If this force gets to that, my plan is still possibly to bring down that bridge somehow. An Earth Elemental might be able to pull it off.
True.
Yep.
Yeah, given enough time.
Yeah, the problem is I don't think we have the time.
That is also more than 2 hours behind us.
Yeah. All right. I think we need. All right. Along the way here, was there any place that would fit for an ambush apart from the bridge?
It is basically a series of caverns,
Yeah.
a lot like this one here. There are bottlenecks,
Yeah.
but not enough that they're going to slow down dwarves. They're they're small.
Yeah. And might slow the trolls down a little bit. And again, whatever that is.
Yeah, we don't know what's in there.
I don't. That's the problem. It
Yeah,
just seems to radiate pure darkness.
yeah.
They're
So
talking about this thing, both the fact in the sense that it's going to be fighting with them, and possibly in a some sort of I don't know spiritual cult like sense. I don't know.
yeah,
Well,
we can back up.
we can back up.
This conversation took a little bit of time,
Yeah,
so
we've been moving obviously the entire time.
yeah. Gonna have one more advantage stealth check, please,
Yeah,
and then you can decide.
16.
Yeah, I'm still in the 20s.
All right,
Um,
fine for the time being because we're keeping ahead of them.
yeah, they haven't moved yet.
No.
We are easily at this point, if they started right now,
Yeah.
they are 2 to 3 minutes away from us.
Yes, we must be able to move faster than they can.
Well, they have to get coordinated,
Yeah.
and they're not yet. They were getting there. I rolled to see if they were going to pick up the pace a bit, but they no, this is medium. So they are probably maybe about another minute or two before they're going to be able to start marching. And then they are indeed after that 2 to 3 minutes behind us. So we got about 5 minutes before they're going to hit wherever we decide to set this ambush up.
All right. Well, I want us to stop at basically the first, I think, was the best possible spot for this ambush.
All right.
I am going to start casting Conjure Earth Elemental.
Okay. You don't need to roll anything for this.
No, it's the
The
best
funny
plan I
thing,
have.
the funny thing is, hold on a sec. Just off the map here
Yeah.
is a bottleneck.
All right.
So that probably be where we'll end up doing that.
Yeah.
All right. You cast Conjure Earth Elemental.
Yes. So I'm concentrating on that for the time being.
Yep.
All right.
I'm not going to cast.
Yeah, you can wait on that.
Yeah, it doesn't take any time.
All right. So there's a bottleneck there.
Yep.
Part of me would like the Earth Elemental to come up either underneath them or behind them and cut them off from that thing, but I don't know how that's going to work. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
So you want the Earth Elemental to head out.
Well, basically, I just want
Wait.
it to sink down into the ground, the Earth, which it can do.
Yep.
And I want it to kind of come up behind the contingent that's going to be coming through there.
Sure.
It's just an idea I'm having.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, they're going to be traveling in the darkness. I don't know if that's going to work.
No. Well, the elemental can sense vibration, so it can
Yes, I
come
know.
up.
It can sense vibration, but when it comes up, I mean,
Will it
if
be
it's
able to
inside the
attack?
darkness, it's a disadvantage to hit.
Possibly. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, basically, what my plan is for this thing to come up. The Earth Element will come up underneath them or behind them
Okay.
and start attacking. Because if it's behind, if it's between, if my plan is if they're going to be moving forward and it's coming behind the wall of darkness coming behind it, it's going to come up between them. The only way it can really come if it wants to get away from that is towards the enemies anyway.
Well, you remember what we did in Vern's Run?
Yeah.
We had the elementals come up inside and scattered them, really.
Yes. That's less of an option here due to the bottleneck.
Yeah. Could knock them off their feet.
True. And I just want it to do damage, to attack
Yeah,
every dwarger and every troll it sees.
just start flailing away.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
that's the
best
plan.
plan I think we have, unfortunately.
All right, this is enough, unfortunately, time that we're going to have to discuss this. So,
All right, so I want it to sink to the ground.
yep, it's going to head, it's going to go out a ways because
Yeah.
otherwise it's going to be right where we are.
Yeah, just right at basically where the ball neck starts to form. Once they pass over it, I want them
Yep.
to come up behind it.
All right,
Behind them.
behind.
Yeah, behind them.
Okay,
So I want a pincer basically.
okay.
I don't know how that's going to work with that cloud of darkness thing, but that's the best plan I have. And I want us to get some distance and some cover to
Yep.
attack when they are visible.
Plenty of rubble, plenty of things to have cover under,
Yeah.
and
And
then,
you can summon your creatures when you think it's best.
well, I'm going to do it before initiative starts
Yeah.
because I want them to be in front of us as our shield wall.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have a ridiculous number of combatants to deal with.
Yes. We have a ridiculous number of combatants. Now, this is what happens.
Mhm.
We set up our plan.
Mhm.
They are not quiet.
No,
They're stomping along.
it's an army, basically.
Yeah, well, trolls are unruly to begin with,
Yeah.
and the elite Draugr that we're calling them
Mhm.
is yelling orders at them to keep them in line.
And they're all in heavy armor.
And then they're all in heavy armor with shields, and they're stomping. And every now and then they start chanting a bit. So yeah, we have plenty of warning that they're coming.
Yep. Well, my elemental has its instructions.
Yeah. So this is what happens.
Mhm.
We see and feel, I should say, the effect of this before we see them. I
All right.
cast.
Just let me know whenever I have to roll the saving throw for the elemental.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
I cast at third level. Sorry, fifth level.
Fifth level, I think is what you mean.
Yeah, I wanted three of them.
Yeah.
I cast at fifth level
Your crystal summons.
crystal summons to get my three creatures.
Mhm.
And I'm going to have them form phalanx in front of us as they come towards us.
Yep. We
As
should
your
probably
earth,
roll what they are.
as your earth elemental comes up behind them, uh, this is where we're going to call the day
Oh, that's good
because
because that gives me a bit more time to think this through.
this is going to be a huge battle.
Yep. Okay.
But I'm going to
Oh,
tell you one thing
yep.
before we stop. You got two groups of dwarves. You got the commander behind them. Well, kind of in with the trolls. There's three trolls.
Yeah.
You can see them. I can't.
Yeah.
The crystals are giving off a bit of light.
Yeah. So that might help. You really should
So
have cast. You should have reset the stone to dark vision, but whatever.
yeah. Um, the wall of darkness is behind that.
Okay. And my elemental is coming up in between them.
Yep. Your
Okay.
elemental can see everything it needs to see to do its job.
Yeah.
And that is where we're going to call it.
All
Because
right. And you
we
don't want
will
to roll the saving throw for the elemental yet.
no, we will pre-roll initiatives
Next time.
and anything else that we come up with, but this is pretty much where we're going to call
All right. Well, that's actually a relief.
it. Well, I mean, we're 3 hours in now.
Yeah, it's almost 9:30.
Yeah.
All right.
So not going to start this battle now, that's for sure.
No, I'm glad. Okay. All right then. So, yes, this is where we will be pick up next time.
Yep.
Hopefully I can come up with a really good strategy in between now and then.
Going to be a tough one.
Yep. Okay. So, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please join us here again next time for the second half of this exciting conclusion to our finale for this level. I think you've outdone yourself this time.
Yeah, you still don't know half of it.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you all soon.